तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम. Yes. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? We found the link and we'll go ahead. Hari Om. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes,
Um,
please.
uh, yeah, so um, Sri Aurobindo gives an advice to Dr. Nirodbaran to treat a person who has fever, not to be put on in the bed the whole day and expose him to fresh air. And it was also Sri Aurobindo's consciousness that he called upon the divine force to heal, and he felt a little better, is what we saw that day. And we also saw what are the factors that influence this, and it depends on the receiver's receptivity levels too. And it is different from grace, is what we saw. Grace would mean like a full miraculous recovery, perhaps something of that kind. There was a question on that too. And then we saw the three factors. So the success of force depends on the strength of the force sent out by the sender, or Sri Aurobindo in this case, and the receptivity of the receiver and the will of the divine. And this was something we saw with regards to that particular topic. And we also saw that mental formations of preconceived notions and fears can lead to manifestation of those in the physical world. This is again with regards to the illness, what we saw. And with some factors and happenings due to various things had set Dr. Nirodbaran's mind caused a little a bit of trouble. So those should ideally not be there. So there was that particular conversation on
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And then we concluded with what should be the attitude of a doctor when Dr. Nirodbaran
Ji.
asked. So faith, openness, and an alert, flexible intelligence, something.
Hmm. Yes. So what we saw was now the talks are more about should I use this salicylic acid or should I do this or this patient. The discussion has now moved more into the patient care and related to the patient questions are more, isn't it? Once he's moved away from the timber warehouse or godown, which he was looking at, the carpentry section. Um, so, what do you think? Is it right? Means now his questions are more related to whatever discussions, what he is working on. He is talking about that only, no, with Sri Aurobindo. It is also the wish of the mother and Sri Aurobindo that he comes to this section. And he also even said that he is not having the time to do sadhana. Or he said, like, that is what he said. No, he couldn't meditate. He is not spending that much time to do that. So, what do we make of it if we want to draw an inference from this in terms of importance or non-importance of action? Do we think he's getting distracted from sadhana because he's doing some work or his usual work at the dispensary? What do you think? Anybody about Dr. Nirodbaran we are looking at? His questions are now more about patient care and more about that. So basically, he's come for sadhana, no, to Pondicherry. He's come leaving everything to do sadhana. And now, what do you have to say? Anybody? What is your opinion on this?
He is also trying to incorporate all these teachings also here. How he's trying to connect and ask questions based on that is what I feel.
Okay,
I
and
mean,
we didn't see,
finding well.
Ji, we didn't see Sri Aurobindo tell him enough of these questions. Now stop, because Sri Aurobindo is also recognizing for Nirodharan's progression, he has to use his work as a madhyam. That is the sadhana. Means many times we try to, sometimes dhyana is considered excellent, but work, which is also our karma, which is sometimes veda karma, which is sometimes karma which you're doing consciously, sometimes it is a work which has been put to you in front of you as a what we can say. Sometimes it's the call of duty, it's the call of the divine or Adesh, whatever you may call it. That also can be equally powerful as dhyana. Just today now we are doing picking up of trash. One very senior sadhak came and we will have a meeting after cleaning. So one of our elders, Mangal Bhai, was, why don't you join us? He said, I'm doing inner sadhana. After that is over, I will then do outer cleaning. Immediately he replied, this birth we cannot expect him to come. And he said, no, 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 I'm doing inner work. Then everybody told, no, no, inner work and outer cleaning. Trash inside of your head is also thrown out as you are cleaning up the trash on the outside. Meaning, integral yoga is about integrating what? Inner life and outer life. There's no difference. And that is why what Sri Aurobindo is asking Dr. Nirodbaran to do in the dispensary is equally an important task. If done consciously, that will awaken maybe all the chakras also. Why Kundalini also will get Jagrut without having to focus on it. If he does it consciously. That is something, and that is why Sri Aurobindo is allowing him to continue because Sri Aurobindo is only caring about the growth. One thing we see about Dr. Nirodbaran also is that he is also very sincere in his surrender. No? That surrender is very clear. So maybe he might not agree. Maybe he is going to ask questions which are silly, which are sometimes irrational, sometimes because of preconceived notions. But surrender is sincere, and that is important. Without surrender, nothing is possible. Bhagavad Gita's first part also is that only. Shadhi mam tvam prapannam shishyasteham. He says, I am your Shishya Krishna. I'm afraid, I'm scared, I don't know, but I want to learn from you. So that surrender has happened, so Nirodbaran is going to receive. If Dr. Nirodbaran didn't have that, he would become what is like a Trishanku. Anybody has heard of Trishanku? It's a phrase, no? Many times we use it based off the character Trishanku. Where was he? He was neither in hell nor in heaven, suspended in between. So something like that happens when surrender is not complete. We do partial sadhana, partial outer actions, partial outer according to our whims. All this thing, it's like 50-50. You're neither here nor there. Cat on a wall, we say, no? Something like that. So here, Dr. Nirodbaran has surrendered. He's not worried about himself, but he wants to grow, and Sri Aurobindo has given him the freedom. So he's utilizing it to ask his questions. So that is all I just wanted to add to because this is important. Growth is what we have to focus on, but at the same time, growth should not be as per our own whim. It should be as per direction of the divine. So for that, we have to surrender to the divine. Otherwise, it will be just like improper growth happening in any direction. Sometimes here, sometimes there. It will not be true progress. Rajivji wants to add something? Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Shishruji, if somebody has the book, could may I know what is the page
Yeah,
number?
from the newer editions, who is having Chitraji is having Aditya I think you're also having it book or no? Okay,
So I
Chitraji
have
has the
30
book.
years old book.
Manisha
Which
ji
one is
also
that?
has the book, I think.
Page number
140?
138.
Yeah.
100 and
38.
138, sir.
138.
Yeah,
38. Yeah.
138.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, so the last question which we saw was if we doctors are important as mediums, you must tell me what our attitude should be in conducting a case. There, Shri Aurobindo says faith, openness, and alert and flexible intelligence. I mean by faith, especially faith as a dynamic means of bringing about what has to be affected or realized. So one is faith, Shraddha. Shraddha should be atal. Shraddha should be that which does not shake, not because outer circumstances are sometimes favorable or sometimes unfavorable. It's okay. It does not matter. What is happening outside is not going to disturb what is on the inside. That is how strong Shraddha should be. Druda. Openness. Openness meaning ready to understand things that we don't know, ready to understand things which are beyond our way or usual way. Otherwise, we are all trapped in routines, isn't it? Our own routines, what we call safe zone, comfort zone. We don't want to come out of it. Sometimes Krishna wants to take us out of our comfort zone. We only don't want to. Krishna, no, don't make me uncomfortable. Krishna, you're crossing the limit. Stop. And Krishna says, okay, boss, fine. And he leaves. So openness, that is gone. That is also an important thing. Alertness. Alertness is vigilance. We have to be vigilant. And also flexible intelligence. Our Vivek Buddhi, Sat Asat Vivek Buddhi should be Jagrat, but we should also be having that flexibility, not rigid attachment, because sometimes we have desires even in sadhana. I am now on level 1 in my favorite game. Tomorrow I'll go to level 2, then level 3, level 4. That is happening in a computer game, maybe. But is that sadhana also like that? Level 1, then level 2, then level 3 exit. It's not like that. There is a spectrum. Suddenly you may rise or fall. These ebbs and flows will go on. But openness and flexibility, that is also important. And Sri Aurobindo again clarifies by faith as a dynamic means of bringing about what has to be affected or realized. Means we have a rigidity in our Shraddha also, and that is why Krishna says in the 18th Adhyay, Sarva Dharman Parityaje Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mashucha. Krishna promises, first he tells him, Uttishta Bharata, realize your dharma. Arjuna, you must realize your dharma and stand up. But after a while, that becomes the rigidity because your dharma is according to your mind, your thinking, your limited rational, limited intellect. You are not having the perspective of the Kalatita, the divine who is Trikalatita, who knows Trikala Jnani, we can say. He is beyond, he knows what's your past, present, future, everything. We don't have that perspective. Because we don't have that perspective, we are sometimes very rigid. So we have to surrender that rigidity to who? To the divine. So that is important. And it's actually Shraddha should be dynamic, dynamic Shraddha. For bringing about what? What the divine wants. The instrument is the nimitta or the medium. The question was about the medium, isn't it? Medium should not decide what the divine wants. Medium should remain a medium and let the divine manifest what is the wish of the divine, not the will of. It's like a surgeon's knife says, don't go left, go right. Now, will the surgeon's knife decide or the surgeon will have to decide? That is absolutely the surgeon's prerogative. If the knife starts interfering too much, what does the surgeon do? You throw that knife like a toothpick. That's why we should also be careful. We shouldn't become a toothpick. We should remain the knife in the hands of the surgeon. Because Arjuna, if Arjuna was not there, because of Ahankar, he would say, Krishna, I don't am running away, I'm not listening to you, I'm not going to do what I want. There would have been some other Samvada. It would have been Krishna to Arjuna Samvada, not Arjuna somebody else. Krishna would have just chosen anyone. Because the divine has no dearth of instruments. It is the instrument's prerogative to be open and flexible and ready to manifest. So let's continue with this introduction. So Dr. Nirodbaran asks this question. He says, can we help a patient by aspiring for him? Since the divine force is already acting on him, how can my aspiration help him further? Sri Aurobindo says it can. Every little helps. This also shows the meaning of prayers. We say prayers, isn't it? We say prayers for others. Does it have a value? Ask the person who has felt the value of the prayers in a difficult time, that person will tell. The person I know was an atheist. That person's child was unwell, and the mother experienced the power of prayers protecting her child. She did not have Shraddha in the divine, but she had Shraddha in the prayers because she felt something was, helping the entire family go through. So little prayers also. I think we also know that, isn't it? We suddenly get a wish from somebody who feels so happy. Just a wish from someone. Hey, wow, what a nice. It's actually a good day now. How is it possible? Well, it is from that. Because that is their aspiration. What Nirodhan was asking a little skeptically, but Krishna Sri Aurobindo says, yes, it helps. It helps. It can help definitely, even the slightest bit. Nirodhan asks the next question. He says, what is this confounded quarrel with my matter you mention? Does this refer to the lower vital and physical movements of the sadhaks? So, just one background of this. Sri Aurobindo's yoga of transformation was about the very transformation of matter, material transformation. called it supramental manifestation. In the south, we have a Swami called Ramalinga Swamigal, also called Vallalar. And if anybody knows about him, he had also done some sadhana on the material. His was a slightly different one. It was called dematerialization into what we call light body, means physical transformation. It's a very interesting aspect. If you want to search about him, you will find out. There's an evidence also. I mean, the Britishers wanted to disprove. They said all Indians are superstitious. These Hindus are superstitious. I will now say disprove them because this Valalar was going to go into a room and enter into a state of samadhi, and it was known that he is not going to come out. So everybody stood out waiting outside of the room, and then they went in to search, and he's nowhere. He had transformed his body into light. That is what is told. And this is actually, for a material physicist or anybody, it might sound crazy, but this is a part. I have been to that place actually. I was fortunate to go there. I went and searched around the room. Is there any other way to go out? Could not see it. I could not see it. And then there are the written plaques where even the skeptic Englishman who was the collector or whoever he was, I don't know his exact post, even that person has mentioned that this is what has happened in broad daylight in front of all the people in the village. This transformation took place. So, like that, this is dematerialization. Sri Aurobindo's is about transformation of Prakriti. We all have studied Prakriti is having Vikara also, isn't it? The Vikara are not permanent. In the 13th Adhyaya, we have been talked about Avyakta, and that avyakta has to become vyakta. So what is that? That is manifestation. So that is the what is the quarrel with matter. In Savitri, there is a line: "Matter shall reveal the spirit's face." That will be the time of transformation. Skeptics will also fall down on their knees because that will be the manifestation of truth. Those who do not understand will begin to understand. So that is what we call transformation. That is what matter quarrel with matter must be. Let's see what Sri Aurobindo clarifies. Shrivindu replies, I am not speaking of the sadhaks, but the resistance of the earth nature itself in material parts. But these are things you people cannot understand unless you have less childlike notions about things. So he's asking Dr. Nirodbaran, now you have to rise above your childlike notions because this is something which is a higher aspect which has to be understood. Nirodharan again asks, I am still wondering why there should be doctors and a dispensary at all. Isn't it a paradox? The divine sending his disciples to the human physician. So why are there doctors, Krishna, or why, Sri Aurobindo, why don't you cure directly? You have shishyas. Shishyas should just, yogi should stand there and say, yes, become cured. Immediately that person should get cured. Why do you need doctors? Why do you need physicians? That is the question of this shishya. Sri Aurobindo replies, rubbish. This is a world of the play of forces. Sir? So Guru is calling Shishya, sir. This is a world of the play of the forces, sir. And the doctor is a force. So why should not the divine use him? Have you realized that if the divine did everything, there would be no world, only a show of marionettes. There will be no Vishwa only, if everything is to be done by the divine. And there's a play of forces, and I think we all have understood the play of forces in the Gita as well. Constantly, there are forces at play throughout. We've seen today is a full moon day. That's it. This person's head is going to. We've noticed some people on full moon or new moon day, one thing or the other, something goes wrong. Or suddenly, Rajasic force entering inside of one person, Tamasic force entering inside another person who is actually a very hardworking, industrious person, but Tamas is entered and the person has forgotten what is duty. Today we had fun. One person gave the key elsewhere, kept the key. Now everybody was going to come. Today we had a big plan of lots of youngsters coming, and the key which has all the broom and all the baskets that is lost. So what do we do? Luckily, one person decided now it's time to do the Sarva Dharman Parityajya aspect. So he decided, let's not wait anymore. Let's not wait anymore for the person to come and search for the keys. Instead, let's break the door only. Let's break the lock. So they broke the lock and we got it in time. Otherwise, that would have that rigidity. If no, no, we cannot. We have to wait, or let us wait for Sri Aurobindo to bring about material transformation in the key because we believe this is his wish. No, he has given us energy. He has given us strength. He has given us direction is given as force, so the divine will use the force. We have to just try to align with the divine will. So this is what doctors also. Yes, doctor is also a force, and that is why. And why should not the divine use? That's the question Shervindo asks. Nirodbaran, he asks this question again. He says, D also thinks the same as I do. Why is it not possible for the force to cure the patients? Let the dispensary go to the devils. The Shishya is telling, why do you need all of this? Let the dispensary go to the devils. Sri Aurobindo replies, thank you for your suggestions, all the same, especially about the dispensary and the devils. DS almost sent it there, but it went to you instead. The previous doctor, he almost sent it to the devils, but now he has sent it to you. Nirodbaran continues, coming back to the cure you effected on D by your force. X says that it might have been due to a combination of unseen factors, not due to your force. I don't think we'll get so skeptical as Shishya anywhere else, but he's directly asking it. So that means he has some Shraddhan, like how Arjuna had. Krishna, you alone can dispel every doubt of mine. Maybe I don't believe that you taught anything to Vivaswan or Manu or Ikshvaku or any of them. But he says ultimately you have to clear this doubt because I know you only can do it. It's something like that. He says it may not have been by your force, it may have been due to unseen factors. So Sri Aurobindo replies, how does he know? Why can't my force be there among the invisibles? Since invisibles there are, if only visibles were admitted, then of course. In that case, all the trouble I took for D was a sheer waste of energy, hallucination, and chimera. Hallucination also the fact that D's improvement agreed exactly with the thought I put out in the force. Well, it may be so. Modern science says there is no such thing as cause and effect, only conditions and statistics. But what are these unseen factors? In brackets, the doctor at any rate thought it miraculous. And what about the hundreds of cases of healing by suggestion or other mental forces everywhere? So this is an interesting aspect of how a force gets transformed. There's a very famous quote, I think, attributed to Paulo Coelho, if you have heard of him, or I don't know how you pronounce it, is Cielo or Coelho, but it is about miracles. Miracles don't go against nature; they go against what we know about nature, isn't it? What I don't know, it's miraculous right now. Tomorrow, when I say I'll stop calling it miracle, but it will have some kind of logic only, no? Some functioning will be there, some higher, maybe higher logic, higher will. So here it must be a combination of factors, unknown factors. So why cannot that unknown factors be divine? It's easy to call unknown, but what is the unknown? Or Ajnata? What is that? That is the divine only. Why cannot it be one of the factors? So just because you do not know, you cannot dismiss it completely. It's more, it's much, much more than what are these, this, what we can say, only condition and statistics, no cause and effect. Sri Aurobindo, Nirodhan continues. And there are many cases of transformations by healing. Anybody has heard of that? Words bringing about change, words of a guru bringing about transformation. Anybody has heard of that? Healing also? Anyone?
I haven't heard, but I have read. Does that count?
You, oh yeah, of course it counts. You can share the example. It's just for,
Uh,
reference.
yeah, so there was a saint called the Autobiography of a Yogi, that author. I
Ah,
think
yeah, yeah.
Yoganand Paramhans. Yes. So
Yes,
actually,
yes, yes.
his friend was supposed to die or something, and then he actually asked his guru कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता क्या? Can you do something? And then after he
Hmm.
became alive, like even doctors had given
Hmm.
up that this person is actually died, and then his guru said that you are worrying for no reason. He is alive. And when he went back, saw this Yoganand, the person
Hmm.
was alive. So technically, he died and then he came alive, as per the text.
Okay. Okay, as per the text, isn't it? I think sometimes we have also felt somebody very close, like my grandmother would say, "Don't worry, you will pass in the exam," and she would give me one small katori of curd. But those words would carry a kind of warmth, and from the sthana which has come. Like when Damliji told once, I remember he told me, I said, I have to go get this particular document from it was not given from the registrar's office only. That document was supposed to come. He said, you will get it today. So I was like, okay, the MLG has said we'll get it. I was just fresh out of college, no idea anything about all the rules and everything. I went to the registrar's office, usual irritated face, and I was like, sir, what has happened? I asked to dispatch said today sub-registrar is there. I went to the sub-registrar asked me, will you take this document safely? I said, yes, sir. And I got the document from him. He said, you have to go all the way to one more part in a village. You have to give it to that office. And I was like, yeah, fine, all right. And I just told Amli, he said, just go safe, travel safe, go quietly. That's what Damlaji told me. I went, finished everything. One more office, it went, got registered. And finally, when the document was being given to me, they asked me to sign. Now, generally, who gets the document? Either the person who is the either one party or the second party, isn't it? No third party gets the document. So the person was very surprised how that paper came in my hand, and he asked me, "Where is your name?" I said, "See, I am in witness," and he gave me that document in my hand. Afterwards, Damliji told me, "Ki Vishnu, this document will not come to anybody. They cannot give it to you unless you are directly the party which has received it." This person thought registrar has given it to me. Registrar probably had pity on my face, looking at me, gave it to my hand. He said, "Nobody, what if you lost the document? The registrar will be in trouble. He cannot give you the document to transfer from one office to the other." But what has happened? For me, it was like a miracle, no? Because Damleji told me, I was like, it will happen. And now, if you try to dissect it according to logic, it will have some logic or the other. But otherwise, the fact that it was the only document that was received in that period where all documents were held up due to some JLR value revision and all, that was something unbelievable. So, like that, just because things are unknown does not mean they are not divine. We all have the habit that divine must come in a particular form in life. Divine must have this much height. Divine must have this much aura. Divine must be like this. Divine must speak in partial Sanskrit and mother tongue or something like that. We do not know. These are all mental thoughts. That is what right now Dr. Nirodbaran is thinking. What is this use of all this dispensary? Sri Aurobindo says, no, it's not that. Even the force has taken place. Curing has taken place, and now he's doubting that this could not have happened because of this. It might have happened because of unknown factors. Let's continue. Nirodban says, you say natural and inevitable things. In quotes, you say natural and inevitable. Things make my brain whirl. This is in reference to 31/3, 1935. The dialogue there. But N has been here for so many years. No frivolous company, no lower trouble. On the contrary, 7 or 8 hours meditation daily. Yet he was not able to cut his attachment for his dead mother. Then what kind of sadhana has he done? I think bandhanas are bandhanas, no? Everybody has it out of love also, but then attachments are ultimately attachments. So this person who was doing intense sadhana, he is giving as an example And he's saying his mother passed away and it did not look like he ever had a. What sadhana did he do if he's having so much attachment and he's probably broken? Sri Aurobindo replies, what kind of meditation? The only report he gave to me of it was devils. See note on the next page. I have always been at a loss to understand why mere length of meditation should be a title to greatness in yoga. Did he ever try? To my knowledge, he did not. So one more thing, dhyana. How many hours dhyana do you do? This is a talk which neo yogis have most of the time, isn't it? It's like people showing in parties, "Ah, I have this much property, I have this much FD. This is another talk which I do 5 hours of dhyana. Ah, I do 8 hours. What is yours? So it does not have to do anything with the number of hours. This is one thing which Aurobindo has very clearly said. My physics teacher was like one of my first, what we can say, first symbol of who a guru should be in my schooling. That was Professor Punjabi Kishan sir, a physics professor. He had said, you all, because we all had so many subjects to study and no time to do anything else. He would say even prayer said for exactly 1 or 2 minutes, but with full sincerity is enough. Then go back to studies, all of you. It will be no problem. And he would also beautifully say, till the day science disproves the existence of God, I will not stop believing in God. That was his beautiful, what we can say, hypothesis. Till the day science starts disproving the existence of God. And it can completely confirmly say God does not exist that day, because he's a physics professor. He is having his dharma of physics also. But that has also reconciled with Adhyatma, and that was a very important message that he gave. So ours does not equate. Yes, sir. Rajivji wants to say something. Yes, sir. Please. Please unmute, sir. Please unmute, sir.
There is the story of Sangdev and Dnyaneshwar. When Sangdev was provoked and told that there is a personality, a spiritual personality, and he woke up after a lot of years of meditation in which he had maintained his body. So he said, "Who is that? Who is greater than me?"
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
he came to meet him. He came to meet him was sitting on a tiger,
Yeah.
and Dhaneshwar was sitting on a wall. So with
On
his
a wall. He said, Chalo, let the wall. Ask
so
the
she,
wall to travel.
so they said, so he said, okay, let that I'll walk. So the walls, he moved the wall forward. And then finally,
Yes, yes.
when Sangdev, with all the meditation that he had done and the years that are there, when he was supposed to write a few lines on what he had understood, he couldn't write. And actually, that was what prompted Jnaneshwar to tell him what is known as the Sangdev Pasashti, which
Sangdev
was,
Pasashti. Yeah.
yeah.
Ji, sir.
So basically, years of
And
meditation, going into a state wherein you are all that is not really the most important thing. Knowing
there was
knowing
a
is the
phrase, I
most
do not know if
important
this,
part.
I think, yes, sir. Rajivji, there, Muktabai, the youngest of
Yes,
them, she
yes.
had commented on Sangdev, Sangya Kurdacha
Yeah.
Kurda Raila.
Ah,
Means he, in spite of so much sadhana, is still so dry. And so
correct.
she is so young and so small, and yet she's able to say that by the yoga bala. Because again,
Exactly.
Kalidasa also has said, Dharma Ruddeshu Vayaha na samikshate. Age is not a factor, time is not a factor, hours of meditation is not a factor. It is the soul's call, and the soul is what eternal. No? Maybe this birth somebody is young, another birth, we do not know what has happened. So this aspect of hours. I think Rajivji has given a beautiful example. Maybe we'll try to find Sangdev Pasishti also in English for everybody. It will be nice.
Yeah,
Ji,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Let us continue. Yeah. So I have always been at a loss to understand why mere length of meditation should be a title to greatness in yoga. And did he ever try? To my knowledge, he did not. He was in constant correspondence with wife and son, always thinking about his family, demanding the advent of wife plus son understood. Here, in spite of our constant refusals, as for meditations, In them, he was always going to his house, getting attacked there by devils, and still returning. Yet, you think he's keeping attachment unnatural and evitable. Have some common sense. Now, one more aspect is devils in the sense, anybody, what do you think these devils are? Bhoot, Pishach, Rakshas, or how is it appearing? Anybody? We
Lower
find devils.
forces,
Yes, Joiji. Yes, please. Yeah?
lower forces,
Lower
lower forces.
forces. Yes, yes, lower forces. They put doubts. They put sorrow. Somebody who is very confident. Suddenly one news comes or something happens which is unfavorable or out of the usual. Immediately the person starts shaking. Physically also. Person is not able to tolerate it. Now is that person possessed by some pishacha? No. But is the person being possessed by a lower force? Yes. So why not? These are devils. These are the lower forces that work in us. Lower forces which make us question. Question what? Our own self. Atmaiva bandhuratma, atmaiva ripuratmana. When lower forces are possessing us, we are our biggest enemies. We don't need any external third devil for something else. It is ourselves who are the enemies. So this is what was happening because of attachment. He was always doing this, and this the yogi, the guru knows, no? From the outside, it may not be visible for everybody. Dr. Nirodbaran felt it was nice, but the guru knows what is the standard, where is the actual level. And it's not a guru's job to tell everybody or display or make it manifest to others also. Sometimes it can be completely secret. It is up to the individual. But this was there, is what Sri Aurobindo says, and he says, have some common sense. You don't know all of this, and you are just using him as a reference. Again, he goes on. As for G, I hear that he is preaching the truth, saying, will you accept the truth from Sri Aurobindo or from me? What else is insanity? Sri Aurobindo replies, but he has always been like that. Then he goes on, this fellow has been saying that you told him that he has played great parts in the divine Leela in former births and had beautiful experiences. Sri Aurobindo replies, hello, how often have I intimated that G was no great clergy? As for experiences, anybody with an occult bent can have experiences. The thing is to know what to do with them. This is another important aspect. Very, very important. We can actually underline this very much what Sri Aurobindo has told. Anybody with an occult bent can have experiences. Means just because I got one experience, I cannot, raise my collar and say, now I have gone ahead in sadhana. I still don't know what do I have to do with the experience. The divine is given because there's an opening. Everybody has an opening for something or the other. Somebody is very good at science, somebody is very good at math, somebody is very good in the physical sports, somebody's got a opening for music. It's like a talent. So somebody has an opening for the occult. Suddenly you get some experiences, and then if you don't know what to do, it's of no use. Means this is one important aspect. Many times in Adhyatmic sadhana, people run after, I want spiritual experiences. I must get the experience. These kind of very rigid approaches are there many times. But anybody with opening can get it. The important aspect is what you do with them. So just because you got some experience, let's not ever get ahankar. That is important.
What is occult bent?
Occult bent is having an opening for the occult. Ji.
What is occult?
Occult is what we call esoteric wisdom. It is metaphysical, what is not general science. We can say, some people get experiences and they can see certain things. We can say clairvoyance and all is one of from the occult realm, no? Some people get that. Not everybody gets it, but there are some people. There was one friend of mine who would get some kind of vision of what's going to happen. That person was like I was senior to me and came at a very turbulent time. I thought, yeah, Bhagwan has only given me this person. Now he's going to guide, and what's going to happen to me? I would try to, no, I'll not tell. And I tried one day, I tried really irritating. I used to call him Bhaiya. Later on, he became Didi. That was even strange. But whatever it is, I tried to get out of him saying, wow, you've got all of this. You're so lucky. And he said, no, this is the biggest curse. I said, why? He said, I got to see two, three people passing away. And that is what happened. And I could not do anything about it. So there are a lot of unexplained phenomena in life. We don't need to, you know, write everything or understand everything, isn't it? Say you're doing a PhD in one subject. Can you do PhD in all subjects? No. So it's like
No.
that. So some people who have an opening, they get it. But it does not mean that makes them higher qualified or lower qualified because many people with occult openings get spiritual experiences. Some people have the ability to give another person a spiritual experience. And then what do? They only become the tantric and control another person's life unnecessarily. They become afraid just because I got this, I am able to awaken, I am able to share, I am able to give this, I am able to give that. That's also an ahankar, no?
Mm-hmm.
So this is just he had a bent. He had a bent. He could understand. He could visualize something. It's up to so many. Like that same time, I remember complaining to my mother. See, this person is getting this much. So many I met. Everybody was getting spiritual experiences. Some were seeing some lights. Some were seeing other things. I was like, मुझे एक LED नहीं मिलेगा. I want one LED light. If I can see in dhyana, everybody is getting so many experiences. Why am I not getting? I remember my mother telling me it's not important. That time I was all irritated. Ha ha, not important. All of you people keep getting it and you don't show me or tell me anything. But later on, I can say in retrospect, it didn't make any difference. I've seen somebody who's got a lot of experience and still make the biggest mistake of life after getting a spiritual occult experience. Normally, you would say that this person is closer to the divine, no? Because this person got something, got a vision of the divine. But no, it doesn't make anything until that translates it. You to understand why it has come in. So there's just one more field, Joey ji. Can we go ahead?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Hari Om. Let's go on. So Nirodbaran, he says, am I to say alas human nature or alas divine power? So he's saying, is this weakness of human nature or is it the weakness of the divine power only? This is again a skeptic's statement. Sri Aurobindo replies, excuse me, it was not the divine power that told G to be a teacher. It was his ego. It is ego which is the root cause of all our troubles. We don't realize it. Ahankara eva bija is what Sri Aurobindo has talked about in his Sri Aurobindo Upanishad also. If you see, it is the same thing. That is the mula. That is the reason for all the suffering. Ahankara. So he says, this is not the divine. I remember when I was very in my starting, I was also having a kind of angry phase with divine. What is the use? All projects, everything outside is not working. Only everything is going wrong. I remember writing a poem. The gods now are sleeping. It seems they do not respond to mortal screams. What fate has played? What trick, cruel trick of fate has played? Why doesn't this pain? Why does nothing change? Why doesn't this pain jade? Then it was like, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of Shraddha or is the weakness of the god? That was the bhava of the poem. I think I can resonate exactly with this same bhava which he is asking. He's saying, alas, human nature or alas, divine power. But no, it is ego. That time I can say it was the ego inside of me which was pricked, which wrote what I wrote that time. Now I can look back and probably I can laugh if I was seeing the younger me. I can actually pat him on the head or pull his ear, whatever it is. But that time it was not possible to understand because that time I was in the attachment, no? In that moha or in that pain, in that ahankar. So that time I will not see. So that is why ahankar must be put aside if we have to receive higher knowledge. Otherwise, we will be fighting like Don Quixote, imaginary battles. Let's continue. Nirodban says, please don't mind our pungent remarks. We don't look upon you as a Bengali father, but as an English one, who is a father and a friend. Look at the Shraddha coming here. The love is there. This Bengali father would be very strict. So he says, please don't look at it like a Bengali father, but look at an English one who is a father and a friend. Sri Aurobindo replies, that who is you? That you is who? I decline the Adhyarupa of an English or any father on me. This is, I am not taking that title. Again, one more bandhan. No? He says, no, I am not taking it. English or any other. Sri Nirodbaran, he asks, if you find my ravings too much to answer, let me hear something about the patient N. Sri Aurobindo replies, what about the patient? It is for you to say, not me. Kshetra has been given, no? So this is, now, should the Kshetragni or Supreme Kshetragni only be present in every Kshetra? Or there we need new Kshetragnis also? No, it's for you to say. You have to now become the expert. I'm just going to listen. Nirodbaran says, N is very well today, fresh and cheerful. What about giving him some orange? Yesterday he enjoyed those few bits from DR. Sherbindo replies, when mother has, she will give. Nirodbaran, if he doesn't have take pocket money, can I help him with a few annas? We don't know this calculation only of annas, no? We don't even know about paisas. I think Rajiv ji might be knowing about it, sir. I
चार
think
आने,
my
आठ
mother,
आने
yeah, you are aware, Aditi ji.
is athani, so that is आठ आने. So this
Ha,
Anna is
yes, yes, yes. I remember. I think,
चार
I don't
आने
know,
is
Namleji
25
had told me
paisa.
once. Huh? Yeah?
चार आने is 25 paisas.
Charana is 25 paisas. So, yeah, that was much, no, at that time. That's how I think very few know about it. So, can I help him with a few annas? Yes, Shervindu replies, yes. But also, if you think he needs, mother can give the pocket money. We see one more nice side of Dr. Nirodbaran, which is caring, no? Empathy is there. Let's continue. Nirodbaran, M's servant boy came today at 11 a.m., but R was not available. He was asked to come at 4 p.m., but he didn't turn up. Shervindu replies, this won't do. He should be told to go to the government hospital. We can't be responsible for a case like that. Nirodbaran, so tomorrow we'll examine him. Shervindu, if you want to examine, examine him at once, or else send him to the hospital without further ado. Sure, that I mean, you can just imagine, no? So many sadhaks staying in Tatu Pondicherry, leaving everything under the care of mother and Sri Aurobindo. They have to look after so many things, raise resources also. It's such a, I think, even in nowadays we have nuclear families, but that also people find it so difficult. I have to look after the family like that. A lot of people give a lot of complaints. But here you see such a, and who is looking after a family? Two yogis who have actually come out of the bandhana, but they have to now set up for what? For that great yoga, which is going to show light to the world, a direction when Bharat will rise. That time, this will be the yoga which will be showing the way. So they had to do all of that. So a lot of sacrifices everywhere. So so they have to take care of the patients as well. And has less sweating. And above all, his general appearance is so changed and he feels it. Shri Aurobindo replies, we are inclined to agree with you. We, in the sense, mother and Shri Aurobindo both. Nirodban, he is weak, he says. I stopped soup. But should I increase soup because of flatulence? Shri Aurobindo, yes, if there is flatulence, soup is best. Nirodban, fruits may benefit him. If you think the same, he will require the pocket money for this month to buy them. Sri Aurobindo, mother will tell C to send 2 oranges daily. Will that be enough? If more is needed, pocket money can be given. Nirodban, I incised G's finger and he was quite bold. But funnily enough, while I was bandaging it, he said he was feeling giddy and fell unconscious. Sri Aurobindo, I think J himself is a little nervous by temperament. I think many of us know that. I remember one very Dada classmate or college mate from mechanical engineering department. Everybody was afraid of him. When he came for blood donation camp, he had to give his blood. And his own blood he saw and he was shaking, shaking uncontrollably. So much. Because I think that's the inner temperament. So that happens. And so here it's something similar. My question is, why are they all talking about all of this? Does it have to do anything with sadhana? Anybody? Somebody is sweating, somebody is weak, somebody needs soup, somebody is should not have flatulence. All these questions, how are they connected with sadhana?
Actually, earlier we saw that like being a doctor is a medium for higher force. So here, Dr. Nirodbaran is the medium, and sometimes it happens on their own, and sometimes they need also some sort of supervision. So maybe being a medium is good, but we also need some more supervision. So that in that cases, he asked
So,
uh,
so
Sri Aurobindo.
some,
So I think
yeah. So,
that's what I
Joyji
think.
means,
Okay.
yeah. So my question, Joyji, is means now this is for the doctor's case. So if it was not a doctor, it was they were talking about timber go down, no? Carpentry.
Yeah.
There also there were
Yeah.
questions. There also there were
Yeah.
little
So
questions.
karm. No, so actually there are three sort of sadhana, if I have understood: Gyan, Bhakti, and Karm. So here it's
Are there
more about
three?
Karm.
Are there three
Like there are
separate
many,
ones?
there are more, there are more. They are comorbid. They overlap. I agree. But
Okay,
कर्म का
they
अगर
overlap.
aspect देखें तो यहाँ पे फिर ये कर्म वाला फैक्टर है. I guess. I'm not sure
Acha,
though.
means, oh, or maybe like earlier is to, earlier people would say autism, and then they made autism spectrum disorder because
Yep.
they made it like this, just as a spectrum. It's so wide. Nowadays, if anybody does an analysis, they might find themselves to be one end of the spectrum only because it's a spectrum, something like that. All of these different actions, different karma, whatever you are doing. If you see Adi Shankaracharya's Shiva Manas Puja, he says, Yat yat karma karomi tadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. Every karma is an aradhana that can be done. So integral yoga is about doing works consciously. Because Dr. Nirodbaran is a doctor, he has to become conscious. What if somebody is not a doctor? Somebody is, say, a homemaker. What should be the karma then? What sadhana can that person do? Does that person have to leave home duties because that person is more attracted with sadhana of dhyana?
You just said sadhana is in every activity, so it's a
So
housewife. Then
yeah,
they are the technically the backbone of that family. They have their duty towards properly raising the kids towards the household ताकि सभी लोग स्वस्थ भी
household
रहे. So
and about swadharma also, self also, isn't it?
yes.
Mentally,
And being a mom
physically,
is the most difficult
emotionally.
thing.
Yeah, mentally, physically, emotionally, all these factors have to be looked at, no? Absolutely, it's anywhere. It is anywhere and it is everywhere. So that is why these are all little things we are understanding. But look at the attention to details Sri Aurobindo is giving. He was doing the deep sadhana, so deep that he didn't have time to meet. He didn't have time to meet so many people. Not for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. For 17 years, he didn't leave his room. Gandhi wanted to come and meet him, but he did not give an audience because it did not relate. Right now in sadhana, it is not required. That is what he said. So many people wanted, but that was not given. For what reason? It was because he was doing a deep sadhana. But in that deep sadhana also, there is what we can say importance to be conscious of every little thing. So it was his part of work, so he was interested. He could take out time for Nirodbaran to have discussions to raise Dr. Nirodbaran's consciousness. Why? Because there's no work which is high work or low work. There is no work which is more important or less important. If you do one work, do it perfect. That is sufficient. Anybody remembers Gita Shlok, which talks about smallest action done perfectly can lead to great consequences. Anybody? Any shloka of the Gita?
I don't remember the shloka of the Gita, but is it from chapter 13? Just asking, I don't know.
Okay, chapter wise, I still have a problem collecting which shloka, but it's not in chapter 13, it is very in the very start. Swalpamapyasya
Dharmasya
dharmasya.
dharmasya. Trayate
Yes,
mahato.
Chitra.
Yeah.
Do you remember the chapter, Chitraji?
I think third.
Third chapter. Okay, see, that is better. See, that is nice. Good memory. So, yeah, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Smallest action done in a proper manner can protect us from greatest danger. A smallest action can be anything. Breathing is also the smallest action. Do it consciously. Do your pranayam. You'll not have kapha dosh. You'll be able to overcome your headaches. You'll be able to overcome different difficulties, anxiety situation. What's happening? Look at your breath. You're not breathing properly in your anxiety. Bring it down, bring that frustration down. So, smallest action can be done. So, I think why I just looked at it is because it is time today. Again, we are going to be looking at some more patients or ulcer and all, since I think most of us, barring Dr. Bhavna, is not a doctor, everybody else are not. So we can probably stop at. I hope I don't need one now. Yeah. So this aspect of doing every action is something which we must be alert about. Doing every action in a proper manner. God is in the details, and we see Sri Aurobindo looking at the smallest details of different sadhana. Smallest of smallest questions also is willing to answer. Not that he is not having time, but that becomes a part of duty. And one more thing, what Sri Aurobindo said, I am not taking any responsibility, no, as a father. But to Sri Aurobindo, to Nirodbaran, Sri Aurobindo was like a father only, a fatherly figure. Throughout the correspondence, we see that. Only he didn't want that attachment aspect, which was sometimes a problem. That is what he didn't want in Nirodbaran, not in Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo will continue to love him like a father. So many of us, so many seekers of Sri Aurobindo's way look up to him as a father figure only, but not the attachment. It is from the higher relation. So I think with this we are ready to complete today's session. Anybody wishes to ask or share anything, any question if you have connected to our everyday life, because our aim, the reason we are reading the entire correspondence is because we want to bring some aspects of Sri Aurobindo's teaching into our life. Otherwise, it will just be some intellectual discussion where people, this person said like this person spoke about these eighth gate opening and all whatnot, different things. This chakra has opened something else. Instead of that, it would be better to bring into transmission. Yes, Joji was asking something, is it?
Yes, I have a question. So we saw the case of a person
Hmm.
in Swami sorry in Dr. Nirodbaran's letters, that there was maybe N who was going home and getting attacked by the devils and then coming back.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and I find it quite interesting. Even in biography of a yogi, it is mentioned that the guru of Yoganand Paramhans was in the touch with his mother, but it was more of a like a good thing, but he was still not attached. So as we saw that for a mother, it's the household that they have to take care of, but they're still not attached, and it's, I think, very difficult. Then how can these things be
No, I didn't
performed or
understand
practiced.
your question. Once again, if we can, you gave the reference from the autobiography. There, that is a yogi who is having a connection, isn't it? But
Yes,
you
so
said, did you?
actually,
You said ghost.
ghost? No, I did not say ghost.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Uh,
I did not
I'm
hear
sorry,
it
I
clearly.
mixed things up. Yeah, so I think I can speak in Hindi because everyone I
No, no,
think
you go
understands.
ahead. Yes, yes. I will translate
Yeah.
if somebody is not well versed. So whatever you say, I'll have to translate it. Please go on. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So actually, for example, we saw that a mother has a duty and she has to be attached to the kids but still unattached, right?
Okay,
Like
okay,
Unmukt Bandhan. So, and I
okay.
think that it's the most difficult thing, Unmukt
Correct.
Bandhan. Like
Yeah.
Bandhan hona chahiye but still nahi hona chahiye. And it feels like either zero or one. No, it's not zero one case. It's a gray area thing.
It's a
So I
non-binary,
think
no?
yes, and that's my brain doesn't process.
It doesn't process. Now, because you are used to it, no? Joeji. So now you will have to get out of your comfort zone of that because for me, I remember Damliji saying ultimately everybody cries for themselves.
Ah, yes,
I
I
was like,
agree to that part.
huh, I, I was like, no, I don't think so. But Guruji has told, so I'm like, huh, yeah, okay, Ji has told. But there may be some times when genuine tears, why am I thinking of somebody? No, I am only having tears. So I'm trying to justify them because of my ego that, there may be some points where genuine tears. But Amji was very clear. There's something called Nirpeksha Shru. That is something
Mm-hmm.
completely different. But otherwise, everybody cries for themselves. It's always selfish tears. This was something which was told. I didn't understand it initially. Like we can say, it is up to us to you get the understanding. Somebody may quickly relate to it through some examples. Some may not. So I was in a phase where I was not ready to accept it. I can say I was like, maybe there may be some exceptions to the rule and all. That time I got a call from a friend. His mother passed away. He was a college friend of mine, also a school friend of mine, and he was a little upset. And I said, no, it's my job. Let's go. I'll go and I'll stay with him. I was like, I was with him as he was meeting all the other relatives. Everybody went away. Then, night becomes a little quiet, no? When nobody is there, all have gone to their homes. So I kept talking to him very quietly and trying to comfort him as much as I can. Maitri Dharma, what we can do, we have to do that. So that's what I was doing. And throughout the day, I was just talking about my mother went too soon. She did not do this for me. She should have done this. And I was like still understanding that chalo, it is give him the benefit of doubt. He really loves his mother, so he's talking about it. It is nothing selfish or is nothing connected to him. But actually all his dialogues were of his mother in relation with him, not actually completely selfless. And then he asked me one very strange question. He asked me after everybody has gone, that time he asked, will my mother haunt me? I was like, hey, this is your mother you're talking about, the one who has loved you all your life. Do you think she is going to trouble you? And that was the point when he asked that question. He is now afraid of what? He's not so sad on the loss. He is still attached to what is going to happen to him. Now, will she get angry or will she do this? Will she become like this? Will she become. Shouldn't it be a different aspect that time? But no, it is emotions, and emotions come with attachment. Attachment comes on. There's a Sant Ramdas Swami has beautifully said in Manache Shlok. If anybody does not know, Ramdas Swami is the Swami of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who meant Guru of him, who gave some beautiful texts, including the first book of behavioral, one of the first books of behavioral psychology, Das Bodh. So he said, मरे एक त्याचा दुजा शोक वाहे अकस्मात तोही पुढे जात आहे. One person dies, and for that behavior, another person cries. But that person does not know that he also is going to ahead go. Yes or no? We cry for somebody else, but it's actually somewhere we're seeing a reflection of our own self and we are wondering about ourself, our incompleteness. That person is gone ahead, and that's the truth, isn't it? So, Joyji, I think somewhere it is an attachment. I'll try to find that one experience of Damleji, which is about Nirpeksha Shru. It's on YouTube. I do not
I
know
have
if I
already
have.
listened to it.
You have
I
listened
have
to it,
already
then you
listened
know
to it.
that, isn't it, Joyji? There, that is the point.
Yeah, I do know that.
That is the point where your eyes are having tears, but they're not tears of attachment. They're tears of evacuation and then movement forward. They don't come again and again. It's the rarest of rare cases. But otherwise, it's mostly
Uh,
because from childhood, my chocolate my brother took away. Big crying starts. No, that is not
okay,
selfless. That's attachment and moha towards chocolate, not
yeah,
brother.
so
Yeah.
understood. I have one more question. So actually, you said that
Okay.
people feel sorry for themselves, and I will accept that. Like 2 or 3 days before, I'm still 29. I was thinking about something, and then I thought I might have to write my will and stuff. And then it hit me: why do I have to write a will? Because if someday I passed away, then I still have some responsibilities and duties. I can fulfill it with the help of a will. And when I realized it, and then I feel shocked. Okay, someday when I will pass out, I know that. I know that since childhood, because the death will come and it's just a material body. But that day I was like really shocked. So
About
I would say that
writing the will.
being dead, no, about being dead. It's not about the
Okay.
will. It's a responsibility which I have
Yeah.
to do. For any reason I will, because
Okay.
it's a responsibility. Everyone has some duties. Being a doctor, being a student, we all of us have some duties. So it's also a part of the duty. And when I realized that I have to make a will, because someday I will be dead. Not exactly I. This body will be
Yeah.
dead.
Okay.
So somehow maybe I'm attached to my body, and once I remove this bandhan or attachment to my own body, the attachment of this soul from this particular body, I'll be like mukt. It doesn't matter whether I'm alive or whether I'm dead, because the soul lives forever, right? So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
So like that thing is a little difficult. Like I realize some of the part, but I still feel that I don't know how to detach myself completely,
Well,
so
that's
that
see. One thing is
nothing matters.
there is no detachment that you have to force and make it happen. Let it come naturally. The fact that you are sensitive and you are thinking about it is fine. It was like when I was, yes, I'll come to you, sir, Rajivji, in a moment. Just coming to you, sir. I had this thought about my stamp album. It will not go to anybody when I was in school. If something happens to me, my stamp book will not go to anybody. Even now, I don't know where that stamp book is. I'll have to check whether it is with me or it's gone. I don't know because we shifted the quarters multiple times. So now maybe it's gone. But that time it was so important at that particular moment. I felt it. But now, like Joji, it's fine. It's fine. It's like I have written that my organs have to be donated. I have signed it already. If the time does come, this is my personal wish. I have done that as a duty. But who knows what's going to happen? And when is it going to happen? Just because you thought about it now does not mean it's going to happen now. You see, Aurangzeb lived so long, no? Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had a smaller life. Aurangzeb's son was only praying, my father should pass away, then I'll become the emperor. He kept praying continuously. Unfortunately, Aurangzeb outlived his son also. This person was he was exiled and he kept praying every time sincerely. Let this happen, let him die. I'll become the ruler. I'll become the emperor. But it does not. So this is something about life which is it's in a way good also. It makes life all the more special. So it's fine, but you don't have to worry too much about what's going to happen. That is Krishna's responsibility. Yes, Rajivji, you were saying something? Yes, sir.
Well, I've been hearing this discussion about the attachment and not to be attached at the same time. The question that comes, how do you deal with that?
Ji,
Now,
sir.
all that is being said now in terms of, the body and the attachment to the body and all. There's just one thing which one should contemplate upon. What happens exactly at the time when you go to sleep and in deep sleep? When you are in that state of deep sleep, you're not dead, you are alive. Where is the mother? Where is the baby? Is any one of them conscious about? Are you even conscious of the world around you? You wake up to this world of duality in the morning every time when your mind and intelligence wakes up, and then starts all these relationships that are there between each one of them, and we get drawn into them. But every day all of us experience a time which is in the night when we go into deep sleep, wherein we even forget our body, let alone
Yeah.
anything else. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is what we are capable of actually, and that is the state where we are not attached with anybody, neither
Huh.
with the body. We have lost all control on the body, and that is the time the body functions most efficiently. Most of the healing takes place in that state actually. So that is the beauty of the whole thing. I think we should contemplate in order to come to some kind of an understanding on this issue. So that's what I
Ji, sir.
wanted to submit.
Ji, sir. Ji, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So yes, that if it is an awakened sleep, it will be a Jagruti only,
Yeah,
into a higher
exactly.
consciousness.
Correct.
Nidram Samadhi Sthiti is what Adi Shankaracharya has also told in the Shiva Manas Puja. My state of Nidra is a state of Samadhi, oneness with the
Is the
divine.
Sushupti.
Yes, into the
The
Sushupti.
Sushupti is the closest experience that we have to
Ji, sir.
uniting
Ji.
and being with Him every day.
Yes.
That
And
is that is
even
what.
that the silence in the Mandukya Upanishad, we have that
Correct.
Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham Manyante, Atma Savijñeya. That is the entire quietude, peace that you can experience. Mind is actually, it has to go to rest. Till the mind continues to interfere, realization will not come. It is an interference of the mind which is
In
preventing.
fact,
Logic. Yes, sir?
in the Gita, there is a shlok in the Bhakti Yoga which says, Mayeva mana adhatsva, Mai
Yes.
buddhim niveshaya,
Yes.
nivashasyashi
Yes.
Mayeva, ata urdhvam na samshayaha. And
Ha.
this is what is that? That is actually the Sushupti which you
Ji, sir.
experience, because that is the state wherein your mind has gone in to rest with Him. Your intelligence has also gone to rest with Him, and you are resting with Him. I mean, that is the assurance which is given in the Gita. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
something which one should actually contemplate on.
Absolutely, sir. Ji, sir. Ji, sir. One more thing, Joy ji, just adding one more because I remembered Anupriya ji of a previous batch. I'm not able to remember the batch number though. She had asked this question about what will happen to her children after her because she only has to look after her children and it was in the height of COVID. And that time she had asked this question, what will happen? What about my duties? What is going to happen? Isn't that a valid question, Joy ji?
Yep, and you have shared that this Mata Dhata Pitama wala shlok
Yeah, the
आपने वो बताया
divine.
था.
Yes, actually, there was the other one, the shloka about how Krishna says, no, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhayuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. That's the promise of Krishna. Somebody who is always having the Nitya Smaran. Smaran means not just because you're remembering and Krishna is like, ah, chalo, theek hai. Now you remembered me, na, so I will get Ashirwad. It's not like that. It is in the state of consciousness. There's no difference in the consciousness of the person. The divine will take care. And she answered. She said, yes, this shloka very much relates to me. I don't need to worry. And Rajiv ji gave an example of Sant Jnaneshwar. So who took care of Sant Jnaneshwar when he was little, or all the siblings? When the village was an entire village, just ostracized them. They just said these are the children of sannyasi. They don't deserve to live. They are most impure. They are most what we can say worst of worst, ill omens. All such bad things. What happened to them? They were taken care of by the divine only. All four siblings were divine. Most of the time, people who are called undivine, no, they are closest to the divine. Divine takes care of them, and they also know that yes, it's okay. No, my parents are not taking care. My friends are not there. It's okay. Divine will take care. Rajivji wants to say something. Please, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
just the last thing. See, I think I heard you mention, I think it is in the book also, that Aurobindo is saying that faith is one of the most important things.
Ji, sir.
That is there. So actually, while we are talking about all this and the various shlokas that are going, I mean, even the slightest amount of faith in one of them is good
Yeah,
enough in order to transform ourselves
absolutely.
entirely. And
Absolutely.
then this faith means that the intelligence is zero in that. I mean, your logic and the sense of, all that comes to a zero. You have Purna Shraddha on something. and you just accept it as it is, that this is what it is. And
Yeah.
this is the, I mean, without that, I mean, whatever you try to put in will always put forth more questions,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's difficult to
Ji,
get an answer to them.
so logical mind will have to be silenced to receive the experience. Means you see, 5th December, if anybody knows, was the Darshan day in the ashram. This 5th December. It was the day Sri Aurobindo left his Deha. All the Shishyas were like, he's going to do the greatest transformation. That means he will experience Amar Tattva. Why should he leave the Deha? They were all, so many were shocked. They were not able to understand what has happened. But there were many who experienced his presence in what we call subtle physical, another realm. And there are many who continue to experience that. This experience of the divine functioning when there are other realms of consciousness which we don't know. We don't need to worry, no? Can you worry about an exam when you are in 8th class? What is going to happen in my, physics question paper, the board exam? We cannot, no. Let us come to that point when we start operating in that realms, when we start becoming conscious, when divine asks us to do that. If he decides ki no, you are not going to pass to the next level, you are still waiting, it's all right. It is the divine's wish. We have to try to become better, but no need to worry beyond that. Worry comes from the mind because of calculation and rational understanding. We'll have to come beyond it. So, Juhiji, it's nice that you were sensitive thinking about the will, but I don't think you need to worry too much about that. It's going long,
No,
long
no, no.
time
I got the
ahead.
answers, but I have one more last question. I'm like,
Okay.
being a human and being trying to follow the spiritual path, I'm confused.
Sorry. Being
So,
what? Being what?
being a human, like
Okay.
right now we are in a materialistic world, and with all
Okay.
or with the help of Kana, maybe we are trying to get the access to the spiritual world. I don't know, but
I
maybe
don't know. I don't think Krishna at all. There's no difference between two worlds. He has got a eraser. He's driving, erasing that line
he has
between
erased the
material and
line.
spiritual. And
Yes.
do we have an option of not being human? Joyji.
Hmm. पता नहीं. I don't know.
कहा पता नहीं क्या है चॉइस ही नहीं है ना yeah yeah so Rajiv ji wants to add something yes sir
जी जी, ये कितनी सुंदर बात कही है अभी आपने. दिस इज रियली फैंटास्टिक. The Gita talks about two bhavas that is there. One is when Arjuna in the 8th chapter asked the question, what is Adhyatma? So that time he said, Bhuta Bhava Bhava Karo. What is it? Visarga. Uh, so he is talking about there that bhava, which is Atma Bhava, which is spirituality, which is his nature. And we are in the Bhuta Bhava. When you say that, yes, I'm in this human form, yes, you are in the Bhuta Bhava. So, in the Bhuta Bhava, transitioning from the Bhuta Bhava into the Atma Bhava is the objective. Okay, it is difficult, no doubt about it. There is nothing wrong in what you are saying, absolutely. That is the major question. That was Arjuna's question also. And that is the answer is entirely the Bhagavad Gita, which starts first with one step which is known as Vairagya. Vairagya is that state wherein you start, actually disliking practically all attractions to anything that is happening, even
become
your
free
own
more
relatives.
than dislike also we become
Yeah,
free
yes, free. Even your closest relatives, you come to that state wherein there is something else where the calling is much higher and where that attraction is more, and then the process starts, and then you transition from the bhuta bhava into the atma bhava, which is your question, but it's a long
free.
process, and the Gita is
Hmm.
the complete answer to this question that you have asked.
We have to
Wonderful. It
hold
was a
on
good
Okay,
discussion.
so no, I
means
understood that part. Thank you, Rajiv ji, for mentioning it. But when we are transforming from this Bhut Bhav to Atma Bhav, maybe, or Krishna's Bhav, I
okay
don't
Yes.
know what that word
Yes.
was, then it feels like being hypocritic. Like I am
no
not
yeah,
being be kind to others or something.
no
I don't know.
Joyji ha no the one thing I'll just now one question I'll only ask you. This is from a very famous quote that we talk about. So, are we human beings having spiritual experiences, or are we spiritual beings having human experience?
Second one, we are spiritual beings having human experiences.
So because of human experience, you are feeling everything, no? The sorrow, the other aspects, those are the human part, no? So we have
Mm-hmm.
to divinize that, no? When you divinize it, can you, just because I stopped feeling possessive for somebody I like, does that mean I'll stop loving that person? Joiji.
Not really. It will be different sort of love
Am
and
I
maybe a.
being, see that person, if that person is also attached, will say, oh, you're not feeling about me anything. These days, earlier, you used to bring for me, used to bring flowers, used to bring mogra and all other things. Now you're not having any feelings for me because that person is also attaching it to a material aspect, the relation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now when you are saying, when Rajivji has said that, you are attaching a meaning of it is something being cold or indifferent. But when nowhere is it being told about being indifferent. Krishna is there, Vasudevam Sarvamiti. When you are not living the playground only, why are
Mm-hmm.
we worrying about what's going to happen afterwards? You are in that playground of Krishna, that Leela is going to take place. Leela is different, Maya is different, isn't it? Leela is when you are
Yep.
conscious. When you are Leela, you will only experience Ananda. But Maya is there because there is no Vairagya, you are getting attached in Maya. And because of
Mm-hmm.
Maya, you are suffering continuously. Something is going to happen. This person is going to behave like this. Something worst is going to happen to me only, or something worst is going to happen. These are all what? Have you become Nostradamus when you, or some clairvoyant sage, just when you think that something bad is going to happen to somebody? No, no, it's just a thought, no? But because
Yep.
you attach to it, you attach to a probability of that as 100% true when
Oh,
it is not
yeah.
true
Nice one.
because of attachment. No.
Yep.
So that attachment has to be removed. So that's not making you cold. It's just throwing out the unnecessary, you know, like what we call trash, no, cleaning up. We do that, something like that. This is the unnecessary aspect which is being let out. That is all, Ji.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you,
Thank
Ji.
you everyone
Mhm.
for sharing their thoughts
Thank
and
you.
answering my
Yes, yes, it
Thank
was a
questions.
you.
nice
Thank you very
session
much.
Hare
today.
Krishna.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. It
Right.
was a great session. Hari Om. We conclude with the Shanti mantra.
Yeah.
Okay? Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत कृष्ण वंदे जगत गुरु जय श्री कृष्ण पुनर्मिला
Thank you.
looking forward to next Sunday. It's
Yeah.
like I'm getting a party every Sunday with so many wonderful inputs. Thank you.
Good. Good.
जी नमस्कारम
हरि ओम
Hare Om.
हरि ओम
हरि ओम
Hari Om.
हरि ओम
Hare
हरि
Om.
ओम
हरि ओम
हरि
जी
ओम
नमस्कार
हरि ओम
हरि ओम अरविंद
हरि
जी
ओम
नमस्कार